Welcome to another episode of the Sports Bros Podcast, featuring the almighty B Live, the money man Scotty D, and your host, the head of creative, Eddie Cool. The Sports Bros Podcast is a sports podcast that's by the fans, for the fans, talking sports just the way you like it. And without any further ado, let's give it up for the Sports Bros. You know what time it is. It is time once again for your favorite sports podcast, none other than the Sports Bros Podcast. Now, I know when you first clicked that button, you was like, wait a minute, what happened to the old theme song? Well, as you know, we grow, we evolve, and we do things to keep up with the times. But nevertheless, you still get three bros talking sports just the way you like it. And of course, you know I can't do this by myself. I have two of the best co-hosts in the world. Introducing, well, before we do that, fellas, let's wave. We hadn't waved at them in a while. Yeah, there we go. Got to get a wave on. If you can see us on YouTube, we are waving at you, baby. All right, with that being said, I have two of the best co-hosts in the world. Introducing first, the almighty B Live.
What's happening? What's going on in the world today? Every single week is something new, something different, something crazy, and we're going to bring it to you. And then we're going to have the other guy who's part of the program, you know, a little balance. And I don't know what he's doing. I can see something that he's doing off screen, but yeah, I guess this is how we're going to start things there, guys. So I'll go ahead and introduce that other guy on the show. All right.
Speaking into your screen in HD, 1080, if you will, the pride of Washington, Pennsylvania, live on location in the beautiful state of South Carolina by way of Myrtle Beach, the money man, Scotty D.
I believe I can fly.
Wow.
I believe I can touch the sky.
Oh, no.
Think about it every night and day.
Are we allowed to sing that song now?
Wings and fly away. Oh man, I saw the new Space Jam. I didn't see the old, so I don't know what song I got going on in the new Space Jam. So I'm in a Space Jammy kind of mood here today.
And look, I'm in the Space Jam type of mood as well because I just recently saw it. And look, I'm gonna go ahead and say this for the people out there: just calm down. Like I'm gonna steal this from Eddie Cool. Tranquilo. It's for kids. Hey, LeBron James, you know what? I'm not a LeBron James hater, as some people may think I am. I respect his game. He's one of the greatest of all time. He's not the greatest of all time. But when you see him put that movie together, he wears the number 23 for a reason. He emulates Michael Jordan. He wants to be like Michael Jordan. The movie is his legacy. It's a new legacy.
It's a bad one. Because he's wearing number 6. He's wearing number 6 in the movie, and he's wearing number 6 next year with the Lakers. But yeah, this is a kids movie, and it's a kids movie, and it was terrible. I mean, just because it was a kids movie doesn't make it good. It was terrible, and it's not terrible just because of LeBron. I mean, LeBron is what he is. He's a basketball player. I mean, you're not expecting him to be getting an Academy Award for this movie, but the movie itself is just absolutely atrocious. There you have it.
Don Cheadle. Just wrong.
No, he was good. He was good at it, though. I mean, that dude's good. He's good in everything. That dude's fantastic. But this was just a bad movie.
Don Cheadle's one of those guys that does everything. Like, he does nothing wrong. Like, hey, Don Cheadle, we want you to play the role of Eddie Cool from the Sports Bros Podcast. And see, he can't mess it up. But there's only one Eddie Cool of the Sports Bros Podcast. Only one me. It would take a lot. It would take a lot of makeup for Don Cheadle to get that forehead if he's gonna be Eddie Cool in the movie.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah, we starting off hot already.
Listen to Denzel Washington here.
I'm just saying.
My man, you shouldn't say those things about me, my man. You just shouldn't do that. But enough of my horrible Denzel Washington impersonation and B Live's old tired played out Eddie Cool big forehead jokes. Let's move into some stuff with some relevance. All right. The NBA Finals. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. The series is 3-2, and the Milwaukee Bucks lead. They have won 3 straight, and the Suns are trending downward, and Game 6 is tonight. Of course, you know today's Tuesday because you know why we say it's tonight. But anyways, the question I pose you, sports brizzos, is it over and done with for the Suns? Is there any coming back, or is this it? What do you think, Scotty D?
Well, I don't think it's over with, but I kind of do. I mean, I say that meaning that I won't be surprised if Phoenix digs down and wins a game and forces a Game 7. But do I think it's going to happen? No, I don't. I think Milwaukee has asserted themselves as the better team, and a lot of that has to do with not just Giannis, who's playing out of his mind, fantastic right now, but his 2 and 3 guys, Middleton and Drew Holiday. Those guys, I've cited them in the past and criticized them for being inconsistent, and they've been consistently good in this playoffs. And I think Giannis is a better NBA player overall now than he was 3 weeks ago. I feel like he's actually getting better in these playoffs and in this final. And if you think about it, guys, Phoenix won the first 2 games, then slid off 3 games. But Giannis in Game 1 was coming off of inactivity and a really bad leg injury that we didn't even know if he'd be playing in these finals. I think at this point, Milwaukee has gone in there, weathered the storm of they went through the most difficult part, and that was going back on the road in Game 5, down big, and they came back. And then whenever Phoenix, they seemed down and out, they fought back, and when they had a chance, Drew Holiday stepped up, made up what I think is probably going to be considered the signature play of this series when he steals the ball from Booker. And then when I think he's rushing to the corner to slow things down, wait to take a foul and make his free throws, his giant stone says, nah, I'm throwing this thing up to Giannis and on an alley-oop. And that was fantastic. And I jumped up off the bed and was yelling when that happened. And I think that's going to be like their, moment like where LeBron had the block against Golden State a few years ago. And, different times through the years, there's moments that you remember from championship runs. I think that's the one. And I think at this point, I think Milwaukee knows they're so close to it that they're just going to step on the gas. What say you, B-Live?
Where has Chris Paul gone? Where can he be? Chris Paul was the biggest catalyst that drove Phoenix to these finals, and he has literally disappeared almost to the tune of where he's a liability when he's on the court. Like it's one of those things where, it's so unfortunate because it's one of those things where I was rooting for him. I really was rooting for him. Then he went up 2-0. I was like, this is finally Chris Paul's time. Even though he didn't do well in Game 1 or Game 2, I mean, Game 1 he was good. Game 2 he did all right. Game 3, 4, and 5, I don't know where he's. It has not been pretty, and I think Milwaukee made that adjustment because they did not adjust in Game 1 or Game 2 for Chris Paul. They let Chris Paul just do whatever he wanted to, and then you saw the switch, you saw the change, you saw the crowd, and then you literally they made the adjustments that they needed, and they haven't stopped since. And so it ends up being, and now, like I said, that 3-headed monster with Giannis, Drew Holiday, and Mr. $190 million man, Chris Middleton, he's earning every cent right now. And so it's just like, I knew Game 5 was going to be pivotal. And like, I just saw the pendulum swing. And we're at this point now, Milwaukee Bucks in 6. That was exactly what they were chanting after Game 4. And it's looking very, very true. Suns was riding that hot Suns and 4 little chant they had, and fans beating up other fans, and that it was fun. It was fun while it lasted. But
do you think Chris Paul is struggling because of the defense that he's facing with Holiday, or do you think maybe he's just kind of running out of gas? Because this has been kind of a short season and an unusual season. Maybe he's hurt and we don't know it yet. We'll find out, in a week or two that something's wrong. I don't know. Or do you just think it's just great defensive play that's bothering him?
Go ahead. Cool. My bad. You here too. I'm just a co-host.
I'm here too. Yeah, I'm here too. Well, Well, if you ask me, I think it's a combination of both. It's just with Chris Paul playing real hard, during the previous series, like you said, Scotty, after 16 years, that old engine don't run like it used to, so he just may be running out of gas. And then with the Bucks' ability to adjust on defense, they're coming at him different. So what is it? Not game 5, but was it game 4? He had 10 points, right?
Yeah, I think they were late too. I think he had like 2 at halftime.
Yeah, they were 10 points, and like a crucial play that I think the Suns had won, but the crucial play that he made was like the closing seconds of the game. He going down court, crossing people up, trying to be cute, turns the ball over.
Yeah,
and then that looks very identical the next night with Devin Booker down there trying to be cute, get stuck in the paint. You got 3 Bucks swarming him in the paint. He can't kick the ball out, and then that's what happens when Drew Holiday steal the ball and allowed it to Giannis. So it might be he might be running out of gas. What say you, Be Live?
I agree. The adjustment that Milwaukee's made, combined with just the wear and tear and the toll, I'm going to attribute it more to Milwaukee's adjustment because it's again, at the end of the day, these are professional athletes. And you got to dig deep. I don't care what you've been going through. This is it. You lay it all on the table, and especially if you're Chris Paul, I just shoot. You gotta have an extra engine. You gotta have some of that Michael's secret juice to make.
Yeah.
So
but
I mean,
he also didn't he missed a couple games early in the postseason too, where he was hurt, correct?
It was the Western Conference Finals. He missed the first 2 games because of COVID.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. That's what it was because of COVID. So he had a couple extra days, to get legs under him. I don't think he's running out of gas as much. I just think it's good defense that's messing with him more than anything. Like I said, unless we find out later that he has like a strain or sprain or something that we weren't, we're not being made aware of. I just think that Milwaukee I feel like they want it more and they're more ready for this moment. I think overall that they're seizing this opportunity more than anything.
See, here's the thing. I disagree with that. I think Phoenix wants it, but Milwaukee's more talented. I just really
makes sense.
I think Milwaukee's more. Yeah, I think Milwaukee's just more talented. And
because at this point, you're right. Because right now they're getting scoring from Booker, and they're not getting much past that.
Right.
And Milwaukee is. So yeah. Go ahead.
Giannis, there was a comment that was made during I think it was game 4 or whatever, where in past postseasons, Giannis was trying to be cute. He was trying to be distributor, shooting 3-pointers and everything, doing all this other stuff. This is the Giannis that we need right here, right now, where put me in the paint, Euro step, every one of his baskets are from 5 feet.
Yeah.
And there's nobody that can stop him. There's nobody on that floor that can stop him. And so it's just,
and he knows it.
That's one thing I am glad about. Giannis is really showing everybody that he is very tough to be stopped. 2-time MVP, most likely going to be the NBA Finals MVP. Way it looks, it's just, the Greek freak, Bucks in 6. Yes, sir.
Yeah. The scary thing about Giannis is, like I said, I think he's improving right now.
Mm-hmm.
Just saying, he still has a lot of room to improve as a shooter, as a free throw shooter. I mean, he's getting better and better. I mean, sky's the limit for this guy. He's not, I think at some point we're going to look back and say, man, he was still on the rise, still learning the game, so to speak. So, but yeah, I mean, with 2 MVPs and seeming, now we are putting the cart, in front of the horse just a little bit because there's still a game 6 to play. But I still think that, Milwaukee's got their foot on their throats, and I don't think they're going to let up at this point.
Yeah, that alley-oop was symbolic. I'm like, well, like you said, we'll remember this one for years down the road. And so, fellas, let's get ready for Game 6. And speaking of getting ready, I don't think these guys are ready at all. But then I don't know what in the hell is going on with Team USA basketball. All right, so here we go. We got Bradley Beal. He's going to miss Tokyo for health and safety reasons. Understand that. They were trying out Kevin Love, but he said, I'm just going to go ahead and withdraw. And recently, the USA lost to Australia and Nigeria, and they finally got a win. They beat Spain, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
Yes, they beat Spain. Fellas, what in all the blue hell is going on with Team USA basketball? Be like what happened? What's going on?
All right. The two different things are happening right now. They're putting together a makeshift team that's never really played together before. That's the one thing, and you got to have some type of chemistry and continuity. These 2 points I'm going to make are one and the same, pretty much. They got to have chemistry and continuity, but their top players on their team, on the USA team, ISO, 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 another ISO player, another ISO. So I think I was watching the highlights and just bits and pieces from the games. I haven't been able to see the games in their entirety. I'm a busy man. I keep it moving, and there's been no movement. Like one person has the ball, the other four players are standing around waiting for that one player to do his little ISO thing. ISO this, ISO that, because they haven't drawn up any plays because they haven't played together. These teams, not okay. And the thing about it is, these teams from other countries and everything, they've been taught fundamentally different. Everything is team ball. So you can see, even though like you have some NBA players that play for these other countries and everything, they play team ball. It's not built on superstars. They play a team game, and that has found its way to be formidable when USA goes in there, and especially this year when it's a makeshift team where like, I mean, literally, like I think they've already replaced like 5 or 6 players from the team. Like I had to look up one of the guys that just replaced Keldon Johnson. He plays for the Spurs. Does anybody know who he is?
I know nothing about him.
Other than him playing for the Spurs, I don't know who that is.
Yeah, I had to look him up because I was like, who is him? He made because they did win against Spain, so they ended their losing streak. So there's a good sign there. Ricky Rubio signing for Spain and Marc Gasol. I was like, okay, all right, I ain't heard Ricky Rubio in a while. But again, we shall see. But literally what it is that they don't know how to play team ball. And Olympics, playing against other countries, you got to know how to play team ball. You got to have some movement off the ball, set screens, some passing, something, help. It can't be just ISO. That's what I see. Scotty D,
Yeah.
You got anything?
No, I mean, I haven't watched any of this yet, but I mean, you're talking about a group of guys here who just shut it down for the season. Many of them did, and now trying to ramp it back up and trying to beat some of these other professional basketball players with like 3 days practicing. You know, that's all they had, I think, before they lost to Nigeria. And I don't think it's going to be as simple as just flipping on the switch whenever they're playing for something more meaningful. But I do think right now they're probably just not that invested in it. They're not that serious. They're not gelling. Maybe when they get over to Japan, which I think they are already heading that way, if I'm not mistaken, because I saw that Zach LaVine's not going as of yet because of this COVID protocol stuff. But maybe when they get there and they're in the Olympic Village and they are starting to realize the gravity of the situation, they can step up and take it a little bit more serious. But I don't know that that's going to be the case, because these aren't, many of them aren't our best players in the world. There are some, but you don't have a LeBron and Carmelo Anthony and Chris Paul, guys who've done this many times before. And I don't know. I'm interested to see how this shakes out for them, because it's just like you said, B-Live, it's just a team thrown together. But we'll see, man. We'll see. You would still think we had the talent to do it, but the rest of the world has been catching up for years, which is why the NBA is now more of an international game than ever. But we'll see whenever it's actually the games mean something. We'll see if they have what it takes to step it up.
I think that's what it is. As you mentioned, Scotty D, the world has caught up to to America and the NBA, and the worst thing you could do, and the worst of Ric Flair, is play catch up ball. Y'all playing catch up ball. So so we shall see once play begins. The British Open was this weekend, fellas, and guess who won it? No, not Tony Finau. No, we got it wrong with Rory McIlroy. I don't even know where he finished. Collin Morikawa. Yes, remember him? Collin Morikawa. He wins the British Open, and he joins Tiger Woods as the second player to win the Open and the PGA Championship before age 25. I'm like, B-Live, While I was growing up, it was called the British Open. So I'm going to call it the British Open. So, fellas, Collin Morikawa does it again, Scotty D.
Yeah, I didn't see much of this because I am at the beach here and with my family. And, this is the hardest of the majors to watch because it's on a different time than us. These guys are playing in the wee hours of the morning when most of us are not up and at them yet. But, I was watching thinking Louis Oosthuizen might finally close the deal, and he shot one over in the final round. So, again, his quest for second major didn't happen for him. And, at the beginning of the season, I said Jordan Spieth might have a chance this year to get back in the hunt in these major championships, and he finished 2 away. So I think Jordan Spieth is now getting close enough where he's going to be relevant in major championships on a regular basis. Guys, remember last year when we watched the PGA Championship? That was the one in California, and there was no fans out there. And Dustin Johnson had the lead going into the final day, and Collin Morikawa and Cameron Champ with the young guns at the time, and went out and made a great showing. And I remember we talked to us, and I said, I don't think Collin Morikawa is the kind of player that's going to be like a one-hit wonder. I said, I think this kid's game is going to translate to future success. And I didn't necessarily mean I think he's going to start winning a major every single summer, but here it is. It's 2 summers in a row, and this kid's got some hardware. And again, I didn't watch a lot of it. I watched some here and there, short stretches of time. And from what I understand, that this kid putted very well this weekend, and that's usually not the strong part of his game. His iron play is his strong suit. And they just said he was doing it with the flat stick this week. So, hey, there we go. Four majors in the book for 2021. Congratulations, Morikawa, 2 years in a row for the young American.
Yep.
Oh, man. So, yeah. Rory McIlroy, by the way, finished even. So he was 15 strokes behind the leader.
Oh.
So yeah, we was just wrong. We're wrong. Yeah. With him. But yeah, Morikawa, I saw little bits and pieces of the final drawing between Louis Oosthuizen, and yeah, Louis.
He's there seemingly in every major.
Yeah, right. But hey, that's hats off to him. It's one of those beautiful things about golf is that even though you like being in contention week after week after week and just being consistent, Louis he's gonna be there. Collin Morikawa, as Scotty spoke of, and I remember him speaking of that last year, and like he's coming to form. He's coming to form. I see him at some point in time very soon being the number 1 player in the world. I do see that in him.
Mm-hmm.
That could happen. He's only 24. He's 24 years old.
Still young. Still plenty of time. He got plenty of time.
So yeah, and Jordan Spieth did his thing. Brooks Koepka was up there in the top 10.
He shot 5 under on Sunday. He was I think the best scorer, at least amongst the guys at the top of the leaderboard there last day.
Mm-hmm.
So he's always going to be a factor too. He's always going to be a factor.
So all we just need the British Open to do is to start later so we can watch it more, because I'm not waking up at 3 o'clock in the morning, 4 o'clock in the morning to watch golf.
No, that's a little bit tough.
Ain't gonna happen.
But speaking of Koepka, did you see him once again throwing shade at Bryson DeChambeau?
Boy.
Yeah, so DeChambeau goes out after the first round and says, I hate my driver. And that made his sponsors crazy. They're so mad. And it looks like he had a bad day. Actually, I think he was like right around even par 1. It wasn't like a terrible day, but he was unhappy. And then I think the next day, Koepka had a good day out there. They asked him how he felt. He said, I loved my driver. So again, those little digs between those guys continue to go on. It seems like Koepka just ain't going to leave this alone with this DeChambeau situation.
You know what? Let's go ahead and get these guys in like the match. Was it the match play that they recently had with Brady and Rogers and Mickelson and
Phil
and Phil? Let's just go ahead and get that. We want to see that because, as Mike Greenberg said, nothing is more golf than 2 guys named Brooks and Bryson fighting. Oh my God! Quote of the year from ESPN's very own Mike Greenberg. Yeah, from Greeny. Yeah, that is ultra funny.
Greeny for the win.
Yeah.
And there was another interview. Because they're constantly interviewing DeChambeau and Koepka about this, and DeChambeau's like, yeah, be fine matched up with him, and shit, I'm here for it. And Kepka said, "Oh hell no." He's like, he's like, no, I don't want. I don't want it. He's like, it's not even necessary. But don't worry about Scotty D. I'll find another pepper point because Lord jeez, there you go stealing again. It's all right. Yes, that was gonna be one of my pepper points about DeChambeau getting mad at his driver. Man, it's hilarious.
You can still talk about it. Nobody was listening to us right there anyway. You can still talk about
it. Oh man, but no, it's hilarious, and honestly, it's got me watching golf more. I do like golf. I'm always good. I'm always here for a good story. This is funny. This is hilarious. Yeah, I'd actually pay money to see them too, in a match. And do something for charity, and just talk trash the whole time. Every hole just.
But just don't hit each other. Them two big boys hit each other. Man, I don't want to see it get the violence. Just straight cash money talk. All right. And speaking of something that might have us do the cash money talk, around this time every year, the NFL and certain networks and executives and everything and GMs and all that and associates, they do a top 10 list of every position. All right. So last week I was able to snag a list. You may have seen my video on our Sports Bros podcast YouTube channel. Check it out on Sports Me as well too. Shout out to the Sports Me team. The top 10 QB list goes as follows. All right. Number 1, Patrick Mahomes. Number 2, Aaron Rodgers. Tom Brady 3. Russell Wilson 4. Josh Allen round out the top 5. Matthew Stafford at 6. Dak Prescott 7. Lamar Jackson 8. Justin Herbert at 9. And Kyler Murray at 10. What say you, bros? Did they get it right? Did they get it wrong? Do people need to switch places? What's going on? Let me know something.
Number 1, number 2, number 3. I think they got it right. The rest of this list is hot garbage. Not the players, but just the order. I don't know why Russell Wilson is as high as he is. I mean, what have you done for me lately? Here's the thing. I'll give Tom Brady the number 3 spot because he won the Super Bowl. He's still talented. Mm-hmm. I don't think it's one of those things where, do I think he's the 3rd best quarterback talent-wise in the league right now? No, I don't. But his production, hey, shoot, you know what? I'm okay with it. But somebody help me out.
What's up?
Matt Stafford at number 6. And I don't know.
Deshaun Watson on there? Did you say Deshaun Watson's name on there?
Would you see? Can you let me? I was getting there. I was gonna get there.
All roads lead to Dabo, but you got to take a shortcut sometimes.
Jesus. Well,
I'm looking for the list and I don't see it. I was asking for my own personal reference.
Exactly.
Do your thing. Be live. Go ahead. Don't let me interrupt you. Go ahead.
Matt Stafford number 6. That's trash. Anyway, I give Justin Herbert a little bit of respect. Russell Wilson shouldn't be number 4. I think Josh Allen at the end of the day, I switched them around. I put Russell Wilson probably 7th or 8th. I put Lamar Jackson at 5. I'll give Kyler Murray some love at 6. You know what? I could switch around a little bit here and there because Deshaun Watson, again, not being on this list is a travesty. No matter what the dude is done off the field, which I am 100% still behind his innocence. I said it because it just doesn't make any sense to me. But it is what it is. We're not going to go into that. But that's the reason why he's not on the list is because of off-field issues. Because I still think he's, top 5 quarterback in the league. But yeah, I don't know. Josh Allen, rising star. Justin Herbert, I think he's going to be doing good. I think Lamar Jackson is going to shock a lot of people this year. They keep wanting to. He was the league MVP 2 years ago, if I'm not mistaken. So maybe they're just saying that at the quarterback position because he's a hybrid player, but that's still the quarterback position. He's dual threat. That's still a quarterback. He's still a quarterback, and he's electrifying. He's Michael Vick reincarnated. Like, he's not as good as Michael Vick, but he's very, very, very close. Very close.
Scotty D,
so,
I'm sorry, be like, Scotty D, what say you about this here top 10 list, man? Who do you think could be moved around? Who don't need to be on here? And what would the money man do?
Well, I think I agree with the top 4 or 5. I think the list is shook up this year because you ordinarily might be looking at Ben Roethlisberger, Drew Brees, and Phillip Rivers as part of that group, and all those vacuumed out of there. So being replaced with rookies. Carson Wentz moving to a new team. He wouldn't have been on it the last couple of years. We don't know how good it's going to be. No. I mean, he's been down in the low 20s, obviously, the last.
I'm about to say, why is he even getting a mention?
No, I'm just throwing out how the quarterback situation is kind of fluid in the NFL right now. And I didn't. Again, I'm not looking at the list, but I think Matt Ryan's name didn't come up, and he's in the past been an MVP, and he's not on that list. I wonder what Trey Duke's thinking with Dak Prescott being in the top 10. I think with some of these guys moving on, maybe he moved up as just a guy that's been a starter for a while. Chicago's got a crazy quarterback situation. The Rams getting Stafford and sending their starter to Detroit. Now Detroit's got a crazy quarterback situation. New England's got a crazy quarterback situation. The Jets have a rookie. Jacksonville's got a rookie. It's just right now, those are probably like the 10 most stable position-wise quarterbacks. Not necessarily the best. This just might not be like the golden year for quarterbacks in the NFL. It's kind of a transition year, so to speak. But I think I like the top 5 the way it is pretty much. I do have I'm big on Josh Allen of Buffalo. I think he's definitely the arrow's pointing up for that kid. And I hope next year we're saying number 2 and 3, that's where Dak belongs, because the Cowboys have just won the Super Bowl. But he's on a prove it year 2, coming off that ankle injury. He's got a bounce back year and a giant contract to go with it. So I don't know. I'm looking forward to watching Hard Knocks on HBO featuring your Dallas Cowboys, America's team, coming up here next month.
No.
Training camp progress.
Stop that. Your team, America's team.
America's team. Your Dallas Cowboys.
Ladies and gentlemen, with that being said, Scotty, I made an official executive decision. Scotty D will be here every week with a report of the Hard Knocks featuring the Dallas Cowboys.
Know it.
No, see, wait a minute. See, I did not agree to that.
Uh-oh.
Why do we need that? We don't need weekly reminders of the Dallas Cowboys. We need weekly reminders of Dabo Swinney. That's the thing.
We get that anyway. I
know, because it's something good. And when you speak of rookies in Jacksonville, you speak of the rookie when it comes to my man Trevor Lawrence, and then another great rookie when it comes to my boy ETN, Travis Etienne. Let's go, baby. All roads lead to Dabo. Now, we could talk about Dabo Swinney and the Clemson Tigers every single week.
We do. We're not going to forget about your Uncle Dabo, but America's team's got their own show come up here next month. So we're all looking forward to it. The country is ready to move on for that.
Is it done? Is it done?
Yeah, let's talk about something. Let's move on.
Is it done? Speaking of moving on, speaking of a topic that we like every week, fellas, guess what time it is?
What time is it, Eddie Cool?
Oh, I'm glad you asked. It is time for our favorite portion of the show, the Choices of the Voices section. And with that being said, hey, yo, button.
Yo, button.
Hit it. Yeah, just like that.
Yes, sir.